Welcome to the Haven Community Conversations, where we talk about faith, life, and everything in between. And we're changing it up here a little bit. I'm here with my wife. You've seen her do some interviews. I've done some interviews. Today we're going to talk together, have a conversation about our marriage. You ready for this?
Dun, dun, dun.
She told me on the way here she had no idea.
Yes, I'm going in blind, guys, which is really scary.
She had no idea,
no idea
the
what he's
questions I
gonna
was going
ask
to ask her. Let's do it. We're used to doing questions. We've done some date night questions, hanging out and stuff like that. So it should be fun. Let's start off with, and we've told this story a lot. A lot of people, I think, in our church have heard it, but let's tell it again. How did we meet?
We've done this a lot. For everybody who doesn't know, there's a discrepancy in the story. However, my story has been validated.
I was going to pray a little bit later, but before we get into the story, I'm thinking maybe we should pray. Lord, help us to have patience with one another and to love one another well and
be
have
kind.
and be kind. Yeah,
merciful.
Be kind, but authentic and kind. And Lord, and just help us to be in tune and present with one another, Lord, and aware of your presence, Lord, as you're present with us. God, bless this conversation. And Lord, thank you for Sean. Thank you for Sean for putting this together for us. And we love you. We thank you in Jesus' name. Amen.
Amen.
All right, go for it. I'm ready now.
Okay, so the story goes that I was dating his friend Joe, and he was dating my friend Christy. And when Joe introduced us, we were in the Commons area of Nimitz High School. And that is the truth because it's been validated.
By who?
By Joe.
By Joe?
Yes.
He agrees with you?
Yes.
Are you sure?
I'm positive he agrees with me. Joe, would you please rein in on the story and tell how we met?
We met, I was in Miss Verhoeven's class that was next door to y'all's class. It was a history class. I don't know what y'all's class was, but he said, hey, I want you to meet my girlfriend. And he said, hey, Courtney. I don't know if he was in that class or not. Did y'all have a class together ever?
I don't think so.
All right, he probably just knew what class you were in.
Yeah.
And he said, Courtney, come here. And then yeah. I had seen you once before because he asked what I thought about you. And I was like, ooh, she's hot. I did. I know in ministry you're not supposed to call your wife smoking hot. Some people have like chastised pastors for doing that, but she's smoking hot.
Oh, gosh.
Right?
Would you? Mm-hmm.
Well, and you were then too. I don't care what people say. I can call my wife what I want to call her.
This is the part where I get red. My face turns red. My chest turns red. Like everything. Match.
Anyways, we have discrepancies about when we met, but her and Joe dated for a little bit, and then they broke up, and then we were just all friends for a little while.
Right. Drill team, all friends, and you were an escort for drill team, so
right.
We all became friends.
Yeah.
Through drill team.
The summer before my senior year, we said, hey, let's hang out. Like probably the last day of school, just mentioned in passing or whatever. And I came over your house and hung out. And for one reason or another, I have no idea, but I wonder sometimes if we wouldn't be here together if it wasn't for your mom inviting me to go to New Braunfels with y'all.
Yes, it was fortuitous. I think she knew what she was doing.
Yeah, and it's not because you fell in love with me at New Braunfels. It was quite the other way around. But I just don't think we might not have hung out again that summer.
Yeah, I don't know, because you had a job. I didn't.
Yeah, because we were friends, but we weren't just like hanging out all the time before that.
Yeah.
And so I went on that trip with y'all, and then we became really good friends.
Tight.
After that, tight. Yep, tight. And I fell in love with her for, I would say, for like a year and a half, and she wouldn't date me. Yeah, and So finally, she says that she was afraid, you know, she was afraid of losing me altogether, so she had to make a decision.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah. So there was some hidden love there. I don't think you knew what you wanted.
Well, I can say this. I had a deep love and respect for you. I just didn't know what to do with that.
Yeah. And there's more to that story, but I'm not going to share in public. But if you would like more info, see me.
Scott.
Don't see Courtney. See me. I'll give you the 411, the details on that one, because if she's there, I might get punched in the face. So
No. Don't mess up.
you don't like me telling the details of that story.
So, how long have we been together?
We have been together since 1995. Yeah, after that year and a half, it was on November 8th, 1995. And I leaned in to kiss her, and she kissed me back. Again, there's more to that story, but
That's also a discrepancy. I kissed him. I initiated it.
yeah, because I was always initiating it.
Yeah, you always made yourself available. Like,
Yeah,
but this time I was like,
yeah, that's a
now's
good way
the
to put
time.
it. I always made myself available.
Now's the time. And the best part of that story, can I tell it?
Sure, I'm not telling details, but go ahead.
No.
No, you can.
It was so cute. So when I leaned in to kiss him for the first time, he was kind of propped up on his arm. He was kind of leaning over to the side because I was sitting in front of we were getting ready to go somewhere. And I was sitting in front of a mirror and I was putting on my makeup. And then all of a sudden I said, now's the time. And so I leaned over and I kissed him and his little arm started to shake. It was the cutest thing. And I knew right then and there I loved him forever and ever and ever.
Well, you did. That's what I'm saying. You denied it at first, but I know there was feelings for me. I mean, it was obvious. Again, if you want details, it was obvious. but the fact that you fell for me pretty quick after that,
I did.
there was feelings there. We were best friends. I mean, you had your female best friends, but we were very close friends. And yeah, it was one of those things I didn't think was going to happen, but at the same time, I knew, it was like literally I knew that this was the woman I was going to marry. But also at the same time, you wonder, oh no, is this ever going to happen? And so it was kind of cool to see it come to fruition.
Mm-hmm. So we actually got together on November 8th. We got engaged on November 8th, and then we got married on November 8th. So we kept the dates all
Yep.
the same,
Yep. So we
as not to
celebrated all.
confuse ourselves.
So this year will actually be 30 years that we've been together.
Yes.
Yeah, but we
Married for 22.
we dated for 8 years.
Married for 22 and together for 30.
Yeah. Yep.
I want those 8 years back, though, you know?
Let's say, did you
I
wish,
want those 8 years.
you wish you would have married sooner?
Oh, you want to tack them on?
I definitely do.
Oh, yeah.
Good question, Sean.
Sean asked if we would have married, if we wish we would have married sooner.
Yeah, so I just had that conversation with Daxton the other day. He was like, so you guys are high school sweethearts, and but you guys were together for a long time before you got married, and do you wish that you'd have got together sooner? And I said, well, yeah, now looking back on it, back then it was like I didn't want to get married until I'd finished college all the way and my master's and everything, and but it was dumb. Like, we knew we were going to be together. We knew we were going to be married. We should have just...
I blame your parents, Papa and Gigi. I blame you. We could have been married and going through school, but you had us, with young kids, you don't know how serious it's going to be, if it's going to mess up their life or whatever. But we knew we would work through it together. But
Yeah.
I can understand from your parents' point of view, not knowing,
Sure.
if it would mess up, your college and stuff
Yeah.
like that. So I
And I
get it.
think with my mom and dad too, the fear was like, I just want you to finish school. Just
Right.
finish school.
Yeah, that's the fear.
Yeah.
But the reality was it would have made, I think, life a lot easier for
Yeah.
us, especially doing,
Life.
there we go, doing life, doing things we shouldn't have been doing, living together, stuff like that. All right. So,
All right.
are we more alike or different?
It depends. Really depends. Sometimes in certain aspects we're like night and day, and then certain aspects we're like on the same wavelength. I don't know. I really don't know what that has to do with, though. If it has to do with the fact that like we've raised each other, and so you kind of
True.
imitate one another.
Yeah.
You become a lot alike in a lot of ways,
Yep.
but we are vastly different in other ways too.
Oh yeah. It's the nature versus nurture. Because we've
Here we go.
no, we've nurtured one another, but I think there's stuff that's just embedded in our DNA or
Yeah.
even childhood. You
And
know,
it's probably some of the, those things we have that are alike.
formation.
There are things that brought us together in the first place.
True.
Music and
Yeah, but you
things like
had
that.
I had you had much better taste in music. Well, I think I got great taste in music because obviously I loved everything that you loved, but you introduced me to a lot musically, so I
the
got a lot of that
grunge.
from you. But I think my taste in music was always there. I just hadn't experienced it yet. Speaking of, do we like the same music and movies and all that good stuff?
Are you going to piece it out, or are you going to ask me like as a whole?
Uh,
As a whole, we like the same music. There are some differences, though. I like some
Music?
stuff that you don't like.
name something that you like that I don't like.
That one playlist that I have, that's the Trippy Mix. You don't like that one at all. Yeah, it's got like some Lana Del Rey, and
Oh,
it also has.
I think I respect it. I respect it.
No, you don't like this one at all. Every time I turn it on, you're like, I think I had a nightmare with something like that in it before. I'm like, what?
Really?
Yeah. It's called Trippy Mix. Anywho, I'll let you hear it. It's got like now I can't think of Kai Theory and
Let's listen to it on the way home.
okay.
Because I want to test this. Because we're gonna get to the movies here in a second and TV shows and stuff, which were like night and day different. But like music,
I also like grew up with all this 60s rock. My dad and my mom got me into music, and he was like, nah, I'm not into that. And then later on, he's like listening to the Doors and stuff, and I'm like,
yeah. But that's Danny Hiller and Jeremy and all those guys from college got me into it.
he was like, I'm not into that. And
Now
then
Pink
later
Floyd
on,
is
he
the
gets into it.
now
I'm
Pink
like,
Floyd's my favorite band of all time.
I know, I know. So there were certain
That's the
things
one band
that,
Sean and I have in common.
yeah,
Floyd.
yeah, there were some things that
Yeah.
I tried to get him into. He wasn't really into, but for the most part, yes, our music is.
Yeah, you got, like Warren always does, you got in music, you got great taste in music. In fact, I would go as far as to say, I don't know if I've ever told you this. I think you've, obviously, because I share it so deeply, I think you've got the best taste of music of anybody I know.
Oh, that's a great compliment, babe.
Yep.
Thank you for that. I felt it.
Now, on to movies and TV
Not
shows.
at all.
Not at all.
No, and in fact, I can acquiesce to you on this one is because your movie taste is way better than mine, and I get that. I understand.
Oh, babe, that's the sweetest thing anybody's ever said to me.
No, no. The reason why
Aw.
I say that is because I grew up with like some cult classics that I love, but they're so stupid, and I know that they're stupid, but they're endearing to me. And whenever I try to show them to the boys, they're
Whoa.
like, "Oh my gosh!"
Yeah, I mean,
But,
you
like-
can't show your kids Clash of the Titans from the early '80s.
Well, to that Clash of the Titans back in the day,
It's
that
even
was
bad
like
for
bad
claymation.
claymation. But and then like Labyrinth, I grew up with Labyrinth. I grew up with Neverending Story and all that
I like
stuff,
all that.
and I love that.
I love all that. No, that's not the
Princess
stuff.
Bride,
I love all
like,
that.
yeah.
But here's the thing: is like
Spaceballs.
some of your stuff I do like, but it's not what I want to watch all the time, and that's like what You like,
Yeah.
I,
Although you did come to see Interview with the Vampire with me 8 times.
yeah, but I was like really infatuated with you. Yeah.
8. I saw it 8 times at the theaters.
Yeah. That's what'll
I did.
happen when you're,
Talking about marriages.
And he did. And he never told me no. He never told me no. He's like, we've seen it enough. And I said,
I was in butterfly stage. I just wanted to be with you. I mean, I still want to be with you, but you know what I mean? It's
Yeah.
like, yeah, I'll go watch Interview with the Vampire.
again for the 8th time. And it's a long movie. It's long, Anne Rice. It's long.
Yeah, that and Legends of the Fall. She was going through a Brad Pitt stage, but then because of some of his personality, she got off of that. And
No, it's not his personality.
my
Pause.
bad.
It is not his personality. It has to do with the fact that he cheated on his wife, and I have loyalty things. And so after that, I was like, yeah, I'm
Well, you
done.
might as well-
All done.
You're gonna lose respect for a lot in Hollywood.
Done.
Yeah, I know. But that hurt my feelings.
What?
And I was done. after
What's
that.
one habit that drives you crazy?
Habit about you or
Yeah, me.
us or
Me.
habit that drive? Oh, number 1. The silly one is when you're trimming your beard and you don't look down at the sink. From here,
Well, I got to look in the
To
mirror so
her.
I can trim it right.
here to her. Don't look at the sink. And so I go over and your whiskers are everywhere. You just looked at your face to make sure it was symmetrical and like everything was
do
okay.
clean out the sink, but obviously I don't do it good enough. Yeah, I'm always looking at the sink.
Sink. He does not clean out the sink. He doesn't even look.
I do. Yes, I do. That's a way exaggeration. I clean it out every single time, but maybe not good enough for my wife.
And so,
I think what happens is I walk away and more falls as I'm leaving.
how does it make you feel?
I feel misunderstood.
Oh yeah. Okay, same question back.
Yeah, when you get up and leave in the middle of a TV show or a movie, or I don't know how many series I've finished by myself.
I do give up. That is terrible.
I can
give up. I have commitment issues with shows because I feel like I'm being gridlocked in the chair and like
but-
Hold up.
never to be let loose. Movies end. They have a termination. They have a start and a stop time. Shows, especially shows in America, are greedy. And that's how you get 38 seasons of ER.
But
and
I can
Grey's
understand,
Anatomy.
like, I can understand like documentaries. I love documentaries. Courtney doesn't like documentaries, right? So there's shows like that we there's a lot that we just don't have in common, but we find something that we both agree on, and then you
And
check
then I
out.
give up. Yeah, I do. It's because I don't know when it's going to end. And we also like to watch shows at different rates.
It's so weird.
That's hard.
Yeah. So
That-
we watch it at different rates. I think it's if you really like it or not. Because with the shows she watched with me, it's like really slow pace. Like her rate is really slow pace. Hey, can we watch another episode? Well, I don't know. Okay, if I do this tomorrow, can we watch it? I have to schedule my show time. But then I've seen you like with your the Asian and Korean shows that you
yeah.
get.
So-
oh my goodness, you'll binge watch those.
Kind of. It also takes a lot of, probably not as much as you think, because it takes a lot of attention. Because you're reading subtitles and stuff.
So
It takes
what?
a lot of attention.
You think you
to
get tired
those.
quicker?
I do.
I don't know. I think my experience has
Now
been
now because you're not interested in that. So
I think she watches the Korean soap operas. Can I call it a soap opera?
no, it's yeah, no.
She probably
no,
watches those
can't
during
really.
football season. And
Yes,
the season
because
just
I'm a
flies
football
by and
season
she's-
wife.
So you're that's probably when you're binge watching.
I am.
Do we ever argue?
Yes,
I mean, when it's the last 20 minutes.
we do. But I will put a caveat in here is that I think that that's healthy.
Yeah, it's how you argue.
There's a lot of people that are like, especially a lot of new married couples don't be swayed by media that was like, oh, we have a beautiful relationship. What you see on social media is not real life. So you need to talk stuff out. You need to hammer stuff out sometimes where it's like getting your point across and making sure that you're heard and you're understood. And that, I think, is the bulk of what our arguments are about, is making sure that we've heard the other side and we're understood.
Yeah.
But it is healthy to have discussions. Is it healthy to have knockdown brawlouts? Absolutely not.
No. I mean, I remember, I don't hear it as much now, and maybe I'm just not around enough naive couples. But I remember when we were younger, I mean, maybe for a brief time, I thought healthy was not arguing, but I think I've understood that conflict is part of a relationship for a while now, especially being in ministry. I think we learn, you learn that stuff.
Sure.
But yeah, because I've learned if you don't have conflict, if you don't ever argue, then you're probably not communicating.
Correct.
Because just like we've discussed in some of these questions, we're not the exact same, right? We're unified in marriage, but we still have our individual personalities. We don't lose our individuality. And so you're going to have different opinions and shortcomings and, and I'm going to fall short and stuff like that. And so there's going to be conflict. So, I remember being younger and hearing couples saying, "Oh, we just love each other. We don't ever fight." And so one thing I've told my, kids is like, conflict is a part of a relationship. Either if a couple's not fighting, they're still very much in a, honeymoon stage.
Sure.
Because what happens is like you gloss over those things when you're in the honeymoon
Sure.
stage. You know what I mean? You don't talk about those things, or you're just not communicating.
Right. And it's like if something bugs you, you kind of let it ride because the good outweighs the bad and all this stuff. And it's not until you live together for a while you start to get on each other's nerves.
Or something to look out for too. I would say, guys, it can go the other way too. Is something we've learned about Sean and faith walking is like the over-functioning and under-functioners. And so in a lot of marriages, there's an over-functioner and an under-functioner. And so guys and gals, be careful if you're like, oh, we don't ever argue. It could be that you might have a passive spouse that's just, letting you have your way,
Right.
So look at yourself and see if there's anything you're doing that's selfish or controlling.
Right.
You might not be aware of it. You might just be going about your business saying, "Oh, we get along perfect." Meanwhile, they're quiet and like, yeah, he gets his way all the time. He
Right.
does everything he wants to do.
Sure. So if you find yourself like always picking the place to eat, always making the plans,
self-awareness.
then, it's just stuff to be more aware of and realize that person does have interests and
So hit the
preferences
pause
too.
button. Maybe ask your spouse, is there anything that I do?
And be ready to hear the truth. So if you ask for a safe space, know what that is. That safe space is important. There's a couple of times too where you've asked like, do I have a safe space? And I'm like, yeah. And then after a while I'm like, ooh, ouch, that hurt, But it's not, I created that safe space for you, so I can't come back and say that wasn't safe,
Yeah, if you do create that safe space, which I think it's healthy to do, we've done it with our kids and each other, but yeah, you got to prepare yourself.
Sure.
As well.
And also that other person too, if you ask for a safe space and that person is like, can we reconvene? Can we come back to that? Because you may be feeling a little spiky, and in your feels, and maybe that's not the time, but on a time when you're feeling a little bit more transparent and you're more relaxed and your guard's not up, then that might be a place to say, you know what we were talking about the other day and you asked me for a safe space, I'm ready now.
Yeah.
And that's okay too.
Yeah, and with that said, I mean, we don't argue perfect.
Yeah.
I mean, it's one thing talking about things in theory,
Right.
But it's another. It's just like when I preach. It's like, Scott, make sure you practice what you preach, because you can stand up here and talk theology or even the Bible, and exhort people and stuff. And but those are the rules we try to play by. But my wife, she needs space sometimes, to calm down, and I process through communication, which communication is healthy, but like not everybody processes the same way. Correct me if I'm wrong, babe. But like, so I process verbally, so I want to talk it out right then, where
Right.
she needs time to mentally process, right?
Yes. So I'm an internal processor. He's an external processor, which is interesting when you think about. A lot of people think that coincides with like being extroverted and introverted. Is not the case at all. Up until probably the last, I don't know, 5-10 years, I would have considered myself an extrovert. But the older I get and the more life you have, it's caused me to be a little bit more introverted. Like I do charge in those times by myself, or times with. Now I don't count. That may be different for introverts and extroverts. I don't count time with you as like an extroverted task. You know what I mean? Like you're part of how I recharge too. So I can recharge
Right,
by
but in-
myself, but I also recharge when it's just you and me.
But in conflict, you need time away.
And in conflict, I do. I'm an internal processor, so I really have to like run it back and forth through my head and like even skirt out my own feelings. And did I overreact? Think about it from 11 different ways, and then I have a better understanding.
So yeah, so I think where maybe our conflict can get messy or not doing it perfect is that difference there.
Yes.
Because I'll get frustrated, like, when you're not ready to talk yet, and then I
Right.
could try to force it, and that's just the wrong thing to do because you're just going to be really grumpy, about
Yeah.
it, and so.
And it'll force me to withdraw too.
Yeah, and I could
because-
sit here and say I've learned from it in a lot of ways I have, but in other ways I haven't because I want to talk about it then. And so we have to work through those things. I think some things that are helpful for me is realizing we're on the same team. So the goal is it's not like a boxing match.
Right.
It's like a football game. It's we're both trying to get across the goal line. We're both trying to get across the goal line
Yeah.
together. We're on the same team, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, that's important to remember.
Absolutely. Yeah. And I think along those same lines too is realizing that your spouse, if you know this is also like part of creating that safe space too, is also realizing that you're for each other.
Yeah.
That means
You said that
the
in
world.
shorter words than I did with my football analogy, but yes, that's what I mean.
And sometimes I think that might help too is during those times is just stopping and being like, do you realize that I'm actually for you
Yeah.
and I'm not against you?
Conflict
Like,
isn't about winning.
right.
It's about getting to a conclusion together. And really in any relationship or teamwork here, with Sean and just all of us working here at the Haven, it's about we're on the same team and we're trying to get a resolution. It's not about being right.
Right.
And sometimes you have to catch yourself, or I can speak for
yeah.
myself. You have to catch yourself because I guess it's the human condition or whatever. You slip into that and you're like, whoa, why am I trying to win? It's not about
Right.
winning. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Nobody's keeping score. If you find yourself keeping score, that's probably a dangerous place.
Yeah.
But realizing that you are on the same team and you're actually for that person and for their betterment.
So what's off limits in arguing with us?
I think taking the bass out of your voice helps a lot, like speaking with respect towards one another. That doesn't mean that in certain times when you argue that you're not going to get elevated and be like, stress your point, but you shouldn't be yelling and cussing at one another. You should not be laying hands on one another.
So I'm gonna say because we want to be authentic in all this, and I
Sure.
want to show, but also want to express some things that are true for us,
Sure.
that things, that we either learned early on and learned as we went, or just to, set an example with showing empathy, towards other people.
Yeah,
But
like our origin story.
like, what's that?
Like our origin story.
Right.
And
Well,
how
no,
we've
I'm saying
transitioned.
like, we don't name call.
Right.
I don't know if that's why I wanted to put in quotation, we are being authentic in a lot of stuff, but also want to be real in saying that I don't know if have we ever? I mean, you don't have to go into details. Have we name called before?
I think the most of what we would
At
have
least not in the last
considered,
decade.
no, what we've probably done in the past, like in younger, more mature times, there may not have been a time where I looked at you and I said, "You're being an,"
Okay.
you know what I mean? Not
And
that you are,
I've yeah,
but you
I
are
admit
being.
I've said that to you
Yeah.
before too.
So
And
certain
it
things
it
like
doesn't
that,
go well when you do that either.
right? And that person
It goes downhill
immediately.
straight.
I think that's one of the things too, is like when you get into name calling, and if you don't know the term ad hominem, look that up, because if that's the level at which you're fighting, that's a very destructive
Yep.
fighting pattern.
Yep.
So
Ad
look into
hominem.
that.
Ad hominem's about when you're attacking the person, not the
Attributes,
not the argument. So
persons,
conflict, even
things like that.
online or wherever you're at, if you're
Yeah.
in a debate or something, it's about getting to a resolution to the problem. As soon as you start attacking the person, it's like in politics, they always attack the person. That's ad
Yeah.
hominem, idiot, you this, you that, or whatever, or you go right for the jugular,
Yes, right. Then, I mean, that's just a cheap way to fight. It's, it, you immediately lose credibility in the fight if you start going that direction.
And I think you've only, I think only one time it's gotten to, and I'm gonna say this for a reason. I think that where you said I'm going, I'm leaving, going to my parents or something like that. That's only happened one time. And the reason I say that is, again, we have far from perfect marriage, but that's something else that's off limits unless it's serious. And I remember I shaped up quick because that's not something that we threaten each other with.
Right.
And when you did that, I was like I immediately whipped into shape, and I realized how serious it was.
Yeah, I think that's one of those things too, is that if you, and this may be something you're going down the line again, because I don't know, but later on down the line, if you make concessions, you will always make those concessions. If you say things like, if you leave every time something's hard, you'll always leave. If divorce is an option for you, it will
Yes.
always be an option
Yes.
for you.
Yes. So like, and younger as relationships as a kids, what kids do, but I would get in arguments with girlfriends and we're breaking up all the
Right.
time. You could bring that into adulthood, and
Sure.
my goodness, don't, with a marriage, divorce should never be a threat. It should never be used as a weapon like that.
Right.
Yeah, so that's another thing.
And people can't exist in a healthy environment if they're constantly worried about you leaving and divorcing them. You know what I mean? It becomes a panic response,
Yeah.
and it's hurtful.
Now, I want to say this too, like, if you're hearing this and you're like, well, dang, I do that,
Yeah.
the two equalizers for me: have compassion on yourself while taking responsibility.
Sure.
Right? Because you got to start somewhere. This isn't to say you're a bad, evil person. You can take responsibility and have compassion on yourself at the same time. I think that's a good, healthy way to repent.
Sure.
And then you work at it. And in a marriage, you got to show each other grace. But then also, man, if you're that person and your spouse does it, yeah, it's good. Let's have a talk. Let's talk about this stuff in a healthy way. Don't weaponize that either, because yeah, it can get ugly quick when you're just playing the blame game.
Everybody starts somewhere, but it's up to you. If you're going to be committed, it's up to you to mature and grow. You know what I mean? Everybody starts off immature. There's no professional in the world that started off that way. Everybody starts off as an amateur. So you learn from your mistakes and you try and do things better.
Yeah.
And it's not about being perfect, it's about being better.
And so,
Being the better you, being the better wife, being the better husband, being the better parent, being the better kid. Like, it's all a growing experience and we're all growing in life. So it's your voyage too.
I think too is taking our vows seriously. You know, I don't know. I know I took you seriously. I don't know how much. Maybe I did. I can't remember, but I don't know how much I actually focused on the vows back, 20 years ago when I was, when we were married.
Well, I
But I
think-
know that I take my vows seriously, and I know, my walk with Christ strengthened more. Both of our walks with Christ strengthened more after we were married, and I started to learn. The more I learned about Christ, the more I learned about the church in relationship to Christ, that we are his bride, and the way he not only treats us, but like his covenants. Like we were talking about that on Sunday with God's covenant with us. Marriage is a covenant, and yeah, I think that's important because we do. Luke mentioned on Sunday, he was talking about some of the arranged marriages like in the East or back in ancient times, but there's arranged marriages today, and versus our way of marrying, and yeah, the the way that we want to get married is be able to fall in love and
Sure.
and find the mate for us, and thank God that I have you, but also at the same time people can focus so much on that. I call it Hollywood marriage, is you
Right.
focus so much on that Cinderella story or whatever, is finding that, Prince Charming or whatever, you want that, you focus on the wedding more than you do the marriage, and
Sure.
and you want all that, and then, what ends up happening, just like it does in like real life Hollywood, is they fall out of love, and so they get a divorce 5 years later. Oh, we just fell out of love, and man, God is smart. He knows how we are, and with a marriage, it ebbs and flows,
Sure.
and that's where you got to have that covenant, right? That's where you got to have that. We don't. I know for you and I, it's we're gonna work through this. Like, quitting isn't an option unless it was absolutely necessary.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
And that's the thing, is you leave it an open door, it will always be an open door.
Yeah. I mean, you don't like me every day, but we're going to work through our problems, and it
I
may
may
take
not
us a little
like
bit.
you.
Yeah.
I like you every day. I love you every day. But I may not like you at certain times,
Right.
like something that you did,
Yeah.
but I always love you.
Right.
I couldn't. Ooh, that's a good one to bring up.
What?
When you first said, I make the choice to love you every day,
Mm-hmm.
and that whole drama that we had about that
that
for
made you mad.
years. For years, he would say, love is a choice, and, I wake up and make the choice to love you every day. I'm like, so for me, what that meant is like, I get up and I have to make a choice. Like, we all get up and make the choice
Which is
to go to
not what I
work
meant,
every
by the
day.
way.
Not what he meant.
We hadn't
but,
communicated well about it.
But also, because my retort to him was, well, I couldn't not love you if I wanted to, and he's like, yeah, there's that, but it's true. You do get up and you make a choice to love somebody every day, and to be steadfast in that. So for him, I love him every day. There may be times where I don't like what he's doing and it's driving me crazy, but I love him. My climate is love for him. The weather may change from time to
that's
time,
good.
and it may be fickle, but my climate is love.
Would you agree that, okay, so we have the eros love? That's
Yes.
the erotic love.
Yes.
Sorry, guys. We've got the romantic love. We'll call it that. We've got the philos love. We have some things in common, like we talked
Yep.
about earlier. Okay. We have the storge love.
Yep.
I think that's part of, and in my opinion, unless I'm wrong on this, is that's part of that, like, how could I not love you? We're bound like family in ways. You know what I mean? We got the erotic, so I'm not just saying we're like family, but you
Right.
know what I mean? We've got that. But agape love is the glue that binds all those together.
Yeah.
Would
That's a
you
good
say
way of
that?
putting that.
Yeah, because I think that's the key to keeping it long term. I think
Yeah.
that's the key, in my opinion, to covenant. To
good.
to taking your vows seriously for rich or for poor, right?
Right.
In sickness and in health. When when one of us goes downhill,
Right.
it's not that you, I fell out of love with you, or
Right.
now it's all about a choice. No, I'm not saying it's all about a choice, but agape love is like what keeps you, like,
It binds
yes,
all
I
us.
can't help but love you, but I'm committed to you too.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
That's and it's probably the situation that I am in at work every day, but walking with people who have just gone through something terrible, strokes, head injuries, motor vehicle accidents, whatever, and seeing their families and watching their love story, like in those times, and realizing that you're just like what you were talking about with all the loves, is that your marriage stands the test of time because you are different. You take on different roles at different times in your marriage. Sometimes you're the best of lovers, and those times are great. Sometimes you're more friends than you are lovers, especially when your kids are real small, and the logistics of having erotic love is hard. You become more friends. And then other times where you may be the patient and your loved one is, and your husband or wife is taking care of you. And then other times where you're the caretaker and they're the patient. Like, you have to be able to ride all that stuff out. The problem, I think, that is the crux of that, maybe, is that people think when they're in that stage, they'll never get out. And when you're stuck in that stage and you feel like this is a really deep valley and it's a really like long December, then it makes it seem endless. And your brain gets, because we're so fickle, our brain gets convinced that we'll never get out of that space. And that's where a lot of people give up. But they don't wait for the rise again,
Was that a real phrase?
What, the long December? That's the background of that whole
Counting Crow
song.
song? Because all I ever knew was the Counting Crow song. Interesting. I might start using that more. How's God, I know we've kind of really dug into some of that, which include a lot of hard seasons. How's God used hard seasons to grow us? I mean, there's other types of hard seasons too
Yeah, there's
that we've gone
all
through.
kinds of hard seasons, but taking it to grow will. I think if your life is constantly hunky dory, that's not where your character's built,
Yeah, but how's God used it to grow us?
Well, when we took our vows, neither one of us were really following God. So when we took those vows, they
We
were
were Christians, but
probably,
we weren't
yeah, we
close
were
with God at the
probably
time.
really
Yeah.
like, they were cute at the time, and we both deeply loved each other, so it felt applicable. But within the first 3 years, we had a kid, and I had cancer. So it was tried pretty early on. Um, and then you walk straight from that into like you're parenting two young kids, and we're stepping into ministry. You were going through grad school, and it was a lot.
Yeah. So, man, now that you're putting a timeline to it, I went in to seminary. No, we had our first kid. We had Zane. I went into seminary, and you got pregnant with Daxton, and you had cancer before, in between that.
I had cancer
Was Zane.
with Zane.
Yeah, with Zane. and yeah, the cancer, and then I'm
The
going
church
into
we were a part
ministry, which
of fell apart.
you didn't yeah, that's a whole other story for another time, but
There's a lot too.
you're you you weren't prepared for me going into ministry. That came out of left field
Right.
because
That was a big one.
I wasn't a preacher's kid, or
Right.
or whatever, and so that came out of left field. And then my dad gets cancer, and we start this church, and we're going through the thick of it with dad. And I would say the first 5 years,
Yeah.
yeah, of dad, being in the nursing home and really sick and stuff like that. So,
Living with us, and then the last
so what?
few months
I
nursing.
feel like God's grown us through it.
Of course.
Yeah,
Painfully.
yeah,
Yes.
yeah. In so many ways, like really, so many ways to count. I think I think He's grown us separately, just in so many different ways in life and stuff. But like together, I think. For me, at least, it's to show that we are we are a team, and we are, kind of like I hate to use this term with my wife, but the band of brothers. We're going to go to war
Yeah.
with each other.
Yeah. Because it does. I mean, at various times, again, it was like, it wasn't like this that whole time. We had a lot of these. We had a lot of great times, and we had a lot of really bad low times.
Yeah.
And during those times when it felt really, really hard,
Yeah.
it was pretty convincing sometimes that it didn't feel like we were going to get out of it.
Yeah.
But you do.
Yeah.
You get out of it somehow, and you move on to another good season, and then you move on to really hard ones again. But I think this was a really good friend that deals with mental health that told me this one time. She says, I keep a journal of those things so that when I go back and look at them, I read them and I realize that I got out.
Mm.
So when your brain is really convincing and it tells you this is the way it's always going to be, it's never going to get any better, writing those stuff or revisiting those stuff in whatever way you choose to document it is proof that you actually get out.
Yeah.
And you do get into better times. And that was a lie.
Yeah. I wish I journaled more.
Me too. Oh, man.
Well, I did at one time, but I've never, that's another story too, but I've never written the right way. So my hand cramps. I had a English teacher tell me that.
You could type.
Well, no, I'm saying early on when I would journal and write, and then I got shaky hands. So, but now, yeah, the texting or typing, I can do. What actually has worked for me is it's not really journaling though. I've journaled ideas. My notes are a mess over the years. I've got all kinds of faith walking notes, stuff like that. But for a while, every year, I would just write one line highlights, and it would basically, it's just a reminder for me, because I can look at that one line, and then it'll bring all those memories back. Yeah, it'll bring me right back. So it's a reminder of those things. But yeah, here's an interesting
Documenting helps. Yeah.
one. I feel like some of this, as we're going through the thick of this right now, how do we stay connected when life's busy? I don't know if I have all the answers to that.
I don't either, because I
We're
feel like
working on, we trying different things.
I think
We're in a busy season.
we're in a busy season. I think at different times we've been better than other times. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? Like finding ways to connect. When so we get in this habit of like running parallel lives. I used to say I don't. Well, I still say it. I don't love girls' night out or ladies' night, and that's not because I'm not a chick or anything, but it's because I really do love hanging with my husband. I love my husband being around. I like going places and hanging out with other people with my husband, and so. But when we're going through times where we're like really, really busy and in a rut, we do kind of run these parallel lives, and we have to make like conscious efforts to cross each other's paths, to like intersect at different points. So I don't know that I have an answer for that one. I think we're still
I think I got, you were
processing.
talking about girls' night and liking to be with me.
Yeah.
I'm the same way. I enjoy just being with you. So, but there's one thing that I like doing with guys. So I think this would help us
Yeah.
better connect if you just start smoking cigars with me.
No, pass.
No? Football and cigars, babe.
No, but you can go with them and do that, and that will be my introverted night,
Okay.
and that's okay.
Well, I know, like, so again, we're in a busy time in life, and staying connected is hard, because, yeah, you get home and you're so exhausted from the day, and you just kind of
Yeah.
sit and
Well, and I
I
think,
say you. I
yeah.
mean, I'm not saying you even
No, I think
specifically.
this was something that was kind of bumming me out, or it's been bumming me out for a couple of weeks, is I get this like feeling like I'm on a hamster wheel. You know what I mean? And like you're living this, it's like I'm stuck in Groundhog Day. Like I'm living the same day over and over and over and over and over again. And I'm like incapable of breaking the mold. And it's like I just want to do something different to break
Yeah.
the mold. And so I think you can get in that rut where you're spinning your wheels and you really do feel like you're a hamster on a wheel. But you just don't know a way of, because all those things are still, you're still responsible for all those things. And it's important that you do them, but you just can't break up the monotony.
So I think one of the things that's important, in my opinion, is not escapism, because it is easy to get caught, you know, just like, wanting to do something new, but it's maybe not going to solve the
Yeah,
whole problem. But I think making sure we're dating each other and we're taking that time, even in busy life. I mean, it's just like God made the Sabbath for a reason, right?
sure.
And so I think we need to Sabbath with one another. Our marriage needs Sabbath together.
For sure.
And honestly, like stuff like this, this is cathartic, but Courtney and I like to do this. We connect. If we'll go out and do something simple, have a date night and go somewhere, and we have this box of cards. If you're looking for conversation starters, those are good. And now, not even with the box, if you have Chat GPT, you can ask
Right.
it for questions, date night questions
Right.
or whatever. And man, that gets us, because sometimes you just, you can sit there and you just get,
Right.
used to sharing a meal and,
Right.
chit chat about, your day at work or whatever, but it gets those conversations started. And that's always, I think that's
a good
always
one.
been good for us, or good for me.
And I think one of the things that we have in common, bringing it back to the beginning,
Roller
is
coasters.
yes, roller coasters, like literal roller coasters. We have totally abandoned our kids and for our anniversary gone to a theme park and just had a day.
Sorry,
we have
I
one
missed
kid
you.
that likes roller coasters and the other one that doesn't. So, it's hard to bring them along. But we love roller coasters. But we also have the same kind of relaxation interest. So, like when we go on vacation, we don't want everything planned out
We like the same
100%
way to
of
do
the time.
vacation. Yeah, that's
We,
cool.
we do like to vacation the same way, which is great because then we get a lot of rest and we
Yeah.
get to kind of recharge in the same way.
Yep. I was going to ask what helps us stay strong for 20 plus years, but I feel like we kind of answered that
We did.
in some of with the covenant and stuff. Yeah.
Yeah.
What role has faith played in our marriage?
Oof. Well, we've existed on it numerous times. It was, faith is one of those things. It's been like the cloud that has always kind of been around me for my whole walk, even before I was really walking seriously with the Lord. Like I had this question of faith all the time, and like faith moves mountains. And it, luckily I had a grandmother who was a prayer warrior and full of faith, and she had more reason in the world to lose her faith and didn't, you know. It's just funny how you see people that have all these catalysts for disaster in their life, and one chooses and makes it triumphant with faith, and the other one just buckles and becomes an atheist and all this stuff. So it's kind of been that cloud that I've wrestled with probably my entire life. But as far as our marriage, we've had to exist on faith.
Mm-hmm.
Looking back at it, like if I could fast forward or rewind the last 30 years, like, golly, lots of faith building moments, like
Oh yeah.
endless. I mean, from small little things to great big huge things, and just watching God be faithful.
Mm-hmm.
Even when we weren't, like, God was faithful.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What's harder about marriage than people think? I feel like we kind of covered that one too.
These days, probably the longevity.
Yeah, it all
Yeah.
goes back to that commitment, the covenant, that
Yeah. The
Those-
longevity is the hardest one, I think, for people.
yeah. Mm-hmm.
Because when you're on the hamster wheel, like, you're just looking for escapism. And
Yeah.
I think people get caught by that a lot.
Yeah.
Walking in a room full of hooks hanging from the ceiling, and you're going to catch your lip on something, you know.
What's better than people expect? I know that answer, but I can't. This is PG-TV.
I think that at different stages of your life, and it's just you're different people at different stages, and it means different things
Yeah.
at different stages of your life. Would you agree?
Oh yeah. It's some things get better with age. Either
Yeah.
people are shouting and cheering right now or grossed out, but
Right. It's okay.
it's yeah, it's okay.
We can just let it hang in the room.
We can just let it hang.
Just let it.
There we go. What mistake do couples often make?
They give up too early.
Yeah. Man, I feel like some of these.
I'm like, sometimes I feel like, oh man, you gave up right before the good part. You
Yeah.
know? Yeah, you may have been through 5 more hard parts.
Faithfulness. It's
But
all
man.
about. I mean, that's what the marriage bond is about. Is
Yes.
faithfulness and yeah.
Like, I think about the longevity, like giving up too early. And then I think about, like, my grandparents, right? And they had these, you know, married for 60 years, married for 70 years, and lost children, went to war, came home from the war messed up, losing family members to terrible tragedies. And, like, that just made them stronger. That is something that you can only explain by God,
Yeah.
because those things would just kill you otherwise.
You need humility in a
know?
marriage. There's going to be plenty of opportunities for pride. I've had a lot of it,
Mm.
but you need humility in a marriage for a marriage to work. Because there's got to be introspection.
Mm.
Because there's a lot of opportunities to point the finger at the other. In fact, that's what the devil's gonna, that's what your selfish pride is gonna.
He's going to make you
Point you
focus
towards-
on the whiskers in the sink.
Yeah,
Don't think
that's
he's
what I'm
not
talking
going
about.
to,
Devil,
but he's
get behind
gonna.
me.
He's going to.
Get behind me, or right under my.
You know, sometimes it's not the, if you've ever, well,
Get under
if
my
you
chin,
have
devil.
never, if you've never read the book Screw Tape Letters by C.S. Lewis, you should read it, because people don't realize how very real the situations in those books. It's created on a comical scale, but how very accurate that is that the devil will use any kind of mundane, small things. People think it's all the big things like world politics and whatnot. He screws up relationships all the time by stupid stuff. and he just gets under your skin
Isn't that what's
and
called
it
screw
festers and
Screws everything up.
begets, just causes all kinds of chaos. So don't think he's just moving in the great big things. He's moving with the whiskers in the sink. That's what he's doing.
Good tie-in, babe. If we could tell our younger selves one thing, what would it be?
You will not always be this much of an idiot. Like, you will get better.
Yeah.
He will not always be dumb. No. Yes. You will not always do stupid things. Yes.
Yeah. That's good.
Maybe.
Um,
You will still do stupid things from time to time, but you will know better.
what are we most grateful for each other for?
Oh, steadfastness and loyalty,
Yeah.
support.
Yeah. I'm
Like-
thankful for, the same. That's funny because we talk about our younger selves, but yet the same things, the same qualities that I fell in love with you for, and I've picked up so many over the years as we've grown together, qualities that I've admired and fallen in love with you for, but the same qualities that I fell in love with you about is the same qualities that I'm so grateful for today. Is just you're a caretaker and you're genuine, all those motherly qualities.
Oh, so you fell in love
about
with
you?
me back in the day because you thought she's gonna be a good mom.
Oh,
No, no. I'm thinking. I don't know
She's
if
gonna be
I'm.
a great mom to my
I
kids.
feel like it's one of those things I don't know if I'm gonna be able to give a right answer for, but the things that make you a great speech therapist, the things
Yeah.
that you would go and change my dad's wound and do the wound care with him, and then just go be his BFF. Same things that has you go checking on my mom. The same things that yeah, just those quality, the same way you love on people here, that make you a great, even though you when we started, you didn't want to be a pastor's wife, but those same qualities I had to remind you of all the time. I was like, babe, you've got this stereotype of what being a pastor's wife is, but like you're in the other way. Yeah, I thank the Lord that we're not the stereotypical, pastor and pastor's wife, whatever that is or whatever that looks like. Sorry, pastor friends. I don't know. We had some ideas in our head, but like I would tell you, you've got you've got all those qualities. You're a shepherd at heart. You're a caretaker. You're a mother figure. You're a servant, and those things are amazing. Yeah,
Oh, thanks. I appreciate it.
that's what I love about you.
So I guess that's a little caveat too, is that question that you asked me a second ago, is that you would, what would you tell your younger self? There was something that brought us together back in the beginning. And the cool part is that those qualities, they built our relationship in the beginning, but they're still building us
Yeah,
now.
yeah,
Like
yeah. That's good.
what I've always told you, my favorite thing is about you.
Me? Me. What's some of your favorite quality about me?
I don't think I say it enough, apparently. His loyalty, his steadfastness, I can always count on him. He's like faithful all the time with those things. And I can pretty much tell you how he's going to answer and how he's going to act in every situation because of that. I've never once had to worry about his intentions. I've never once had to worry about if he's going to show up, if he's going to be there. He does what he says he's going to do, always.
I thought you were gonna say my snoring, but
Definitely not that.
yeah.
preach.
No, I would give that one up. That would be it. That and whiskers.
Speak that change.
Who's most likely to leave the lights on?
You know it ain't me.
She's a vampire. She would do well in the Renaissance era. She would.
Yeah, I absolutely do
low
not need
lighting.
light to function.
Yeah, and I can't. I'm blind, today because of her low
Yeah,
lighting.
he's definitely blamed me from his loss of eyesight because I really don't turn the lights on.
Yeah, I've really had bad eyesight since the 3rd grade, but it doesn't help when when
Can't
there's no
see.
light in the room.
Yeah, that's
Who's the better driver?
Choose wisely.
I think this one may be
this one might be a draw because
draw's a good way to put it.
because
Either that or we're gonna be fighting there.
now wait a second.
Good content.
I will say that he is the one, like, when we are together, he's always driving, unless he needs to, like, respond to somebody by text or something. But he always drives because I don't love to drive. So,
Yeah, I would say
don't
I
care.
would have a better argument, but as soon as I say I'm the better driver, I hit a curb and she reminds me of
or
it.
he hits a pole.
A pole.
Mm,
Whoa, that was a tree.
no, at work when you left on a
Oh,
meeting,
yeah,
you hit a
okay,
pole.
you're the better driver.
Take it easy, Don Quixote.
Yeah, you're probably the better driver. Who's likely to forget why they walked into a room?
I think that one's a wash. I think you
Really?
and I.
No way.
No.
I forget all the time.
I know, but like I find myself at the hospital,
Mm-hmm.
like walking in the supply closet, and I don't remember why I'm there.
I literally, like, I do it at church on Sunday mornings. I walk from one place to the next, and I'm like, Sean, why am I here?
Into church. What am I doing here?
Oh yeah, I'm
Walking
a
to
pastor.
church.
Ooh, okay.
No, I mean, I do it all the time at the hospital. I don't know if it's because it's big and like you're walking from one place to another and gives you time to forget, but I do it constantly at the hospital.
It's your coping mechanism.
It is.
Find the supply closet.
Yes.
Run.
Who's likely to take longer to get ready?
Me.
Yeah,
That was dumb.
Yeah.
That's pretty sexist.
we could have skipped that one.
How dare you?
Who's likely to say I'm sorry first?
Ooh.
You. But it's definitely him, mainly because I'm the internal processor. So I gotta wrap my head around that stuff, you know. But you're like, as you're verbal processing, you're like, yeah, I may have been acting like that, and I'm sorry. But I'm still like, it's going to take me 2 days to get through that conversation. So, you,
Who's likely to cry during a movie?
me,
Yeah,
158 million times. I cried a good Coke commercial. So,
my crying's random.
no, it's not. If you analyze your crying,
Oh, she's
it's
analyzing my crying.
not.
Tell me all about it.
Because when you get emotional, it's usually somebody's redemption.
Redemption. I was gonna say that.
Redemption gets them every time.
Yeah, that's true. Maybe it's just that it catches me off guard
And a changed life and a redemptive
Yes.
story will get them every time.
every time.
Or kill off a dog. Don't be killing dogs. Hollywood, stop killing dogs off. Stop killing kids off. Nobody likes that theme.
Who's likely to spend more money?
Why are we going for the third at the end of this?
I'm not. I'm just asking questions.
I think you're convinced on this one, but I think we ought to go through our Amazon orders and see.
You want to skip it?
Oh, he gets the.
Is this
I
another
think we're
draw?
doing well. I think we're gonna have a good night tonight. Think.
That's all I got.
I would say that one's a draw if you go back and look at Amazon.
I will acquiesce. Does acquiesce mean you have to agree, or is you agreeing to?
You're giving in.
You're giving in.
Acquiesce is
I
giving in.
acquiesce.
Yeah.
Okay.
You can just say it's a draw.
Who's a better cook? That is totally you, babe. She's the best cook I know.
Cheap.
Mom, you're a good cook too.
Good cooks aren't cheap.
But man, yeah, Courtney, dude, like
Dude.
again, Warren, she like her. Oh, it's like a restaurant. It's like a nice
It is
restaurant
not.
when she cooks.
It is not.
Yes, I say restaurant. I mean, definitely you cook better than a lot of restaurants, but you cook like a nice restaurant.
Oh, gosh.
Yes.
No, I don't.
Who gives the best gifts? That's you.
You know, the
I'm
funny
always banging
thing,
my head trying to figure out what to get.
There's your problem.
I think the funny thing about our relationship is we're not big gift givers.
Yeah.
You know, we choose to do those things together. Like for our anniversary, we'll try to go somewhere, and that's our gift to one another.
Yeah.
Neither one of us have ever been really big on
Right.
gifts.
Yep.
So
Yep. I secretly wish that we could just stop doing all that stuff at Christmas and just spend
Well,
time
we've
together.
also, I don't think in the history of our time together, we've ever bought each other like a Christmas gift at Christmas.
Oh, I know, but we're on the same page there.
Yeah.
But I think, even as families and stuff, we're getting better at like not having to buy forever. I like it when we do the buy one, and it's not
Yeah.
because I'm feeling cheap or whatever. It's just it takes the stress off of Christmas,
Right.
and you can enjoy it for what it is. But you can still have fun and do a gift exchange, like a white elephant or however you want to do it. But you're just buying for like one, or somebody,
Well,
everybody's
yeah,
in charge
I
for
think
one
that
person.
that part too, as I've always said, I like Christmas in November better than Christmas in December.
Who's likely?
Christmas in December is stressful.
Who's more competitive?
I don't think either one of us are competitive.
Yeah.
Scott is.
No.
No.
I think Luke's more competitive than I am.
That's your other marriage. Luke, you're his other husband, wife.
That's for episode 2.
Yeah, that'd be a good one.
I don't think I'm
Man, Luke gets it right.
competitive. Maybe in some ways, I don't know.
I don't think.
I mean, I love sports, but
OCD makes you competitive.
Yeah, but that's not you being competitive in yourself. That's
Yeah.
you like competition, like as
Yeah.
far as watching it and partaking in that stuff. But
stay in or go out for a date night.
Oh, you're asking the introvert?
sometimes
think
I
we're
just like hanging with you in the hot tub.
I think we like variety. We've
Yeah.
always liked variety.
Yeah.
Both of us like variety. If we're staying in too much, we want to go out. If we go
Going
out too much, we
like to stay in.
like
Yeah.
to stay in.
That's true.
Beach or mountains?
Beach.
I say beach too, but we've never done
I know
mountains
we
together.
haven't done a mountain, so let's do a mountain next time, and then we'll see.
We were talking about going to Nashville. Maybe we should
know.
go to Denver. Morning person or night owl?
Well, guys, I get up at 4:15 for work, so I never want to get up that early. Never. That's
So
never a choice.
We have
but
totally changed, and I think that's age
Yeah.
thing because we were big night owls early, and
Our
now
kids
there's no way I
ruined
can go to an evening movie anymore.
Yeah, when we go to
I'll
an
fall
evening
asleep.
movie, we're like, pass.
Yeah. Text or call?
Text.
Text.
Always.
Speech
But
pathologist?
but I was not a phone talker on her when I was in high school. I was not. I did not like talking on the phone. If we'd have had text back then, I'd have texted.
Although we used to fall asleep together on the
You
phone.
and me, but not like everybody else. I was like, say what you need to say and get off the phone.
Yeah.
But
Music or podcasts in the car?
music,
Huh?
always,
So
always.
I know I said how much I love music earlier, but I'm the podcast guy. She's the music on the podcast.
Yep.
Host of a podcast.
Clean house or cozy chaos?
Clean house.
Yeah, me too. Well, yeah,
You are too.
I am too, and it makes me feel good.
Yeah.
But sometimes I think you obsess too much.
Absolutely.
Candace Forga, you
Candace.
did that.
I did.
You did that.
It-
When she's going nuts about the house and driving everybody else crazy. But at the same time, I will admit that us boys are pretty messy. So
but you are not. You've never been messy. You've been more cluttery, like
cluttery.
keeping papers and stuff. But you're not messy.
I know exactly. You know why I know exactly what she's talking about?
Because you know how to aim.
No, because yeah, that too. But and I'll clean up after myself too. That's the difference. But
Keto-
no, it's because I got two boys, so now I know the difference between clutter and messy. Yeah,
My boys are messy, and that would not have been allowed in my house growing up.
chocolate or salty snacks.
Both.
Salty chocolate.
So usually I'm the chocolate guy. Oh, but when she discovered dark chocolate,
Yeah, and sweet and salty is a great
oh
combination.
my goodness, like
Sweet and salty.
sea salt, dark chocolate, anything is the most amazing
It really is.
thing on planet Earth.
Amen.
You agree?
So
Oh wow, I didn't know you'd be on board with that.
now you should have said
Oh,
you
sea
should have
salt.
said the chocolate or sour. then I would have said sour.
Okay, because she likes all the sour stuff,
And
which
gummy bears
for
are my
me,
favorite
like
thing ever.
literally, I like sour to an extent, but I have reaction to it. I don't.
It looks
Not my
painful when you
favorite
eat
thing.
it.
Yeah, I don't. I don't know
He
if I could
doesn't
say I
love it.
enjoy it. No, I enjoy Sour Patch Kids stuff like that, but yeah, if we all right, we'll put it this way, and then we'll move on. If we go to a movie, she would want the sour, stuff, and I want the chocolate.
Yep.
You know, I want the malt balls or the really
I would love to see your face eat an area.
peanut butter M&Ms. Huh?
I
He
want to
doesn't
see
love
you
it.
eat
It looks painful.
Eat a Warhead?
Yeah.
Oh, I have. I mean, I'll eat one. And I'll, but comedy or drama?
Depends.
Yeah, it depends. I'm with you there. It's
Really
more like your
depends on my mood too.
your fantasy, and then I might be like true life, and you. That's where we might differ.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I love Star Wars, stuff like that. But like some of your fantasy, I like to an extent, but not as much.
You like Harry Potter.
I do, but I'm not passionate
Yeah,
about it.
that's true.
Even dare I say in Christian circles, like I like Lord of the Rings. I'm not the Lord of the Rings hater, but I'm not passionate. And probably you guys, even though we've watched it the same amount, you probably have a lot more details up here about Lord of the Rings than I do. With those kind of movies, I don't retain as much of the detail, but you give me like a real life drama or whatever, and then I'll retain. I guess it's just the way I'm wired or something. I
Yeah.
don't know. Planner or go with the flow?
So, fun fact, in our relationship, Scott is the planner. When we go on a vacation, he's the planner, and I'm the one who packs and shows up asking where we're going. I know where we're going. That's
Yeah.
silly. But he does all the planning, and I show up.
Yeah.
And I get us all packed and everything.
I don't know if I enjoy
planned.
planning though. I think I just do it.
You know, I'm not going
Yeah.
to.
And you gotta make some kind of plan. So
He knows I'm not going to. Like, yeah, sure, let's
or
go.
function or under function.
Yeah. So when it comes to vacations, I'm the under functioner. He's the over functioner for sure.
Netflix binge or game night?
Game night.
Netflix binge. Yeah, I know we're different because literally she wants to play games, and I'll say you and the boys go do it because I just don't have the attention span for it.
Yeah.
So I would like, but when I want to watch movies or whatever, she's like, just let's turn the TV off. So
I also don't love the TV on.
she doesn't. That is it.
We made it.
the lightning
We
round?
did it.
We're done.
And now it's time for the Daily Double.
So I think like having a healthy conversation. So Sean's question, for those of you who didn't hear it, he was wanting to expound a little bit on healthy conflict versus unhealthy conflict, and we were talking a lot about ad hominem, but the aspects of like a healthy kind of conflict. So it's not bad to have conflict, but you do have to like resolve that conflict and work that stuff out in a healthy way, right? So one of mine would be like trying to see where the other person is coming from. So one of the things that Scott and I are passionate about is this is kind of a roundabout way of answering that question, but when you're on social media, stay engaged with people of all kinds. It's important that you do that, because if you find yourself just surrounding yourself with people who think like you, talk like you, act like you, you're in an echo chamber. If you start listening and open yourself up to social media, then you start getting other people's perspective. And even if you don't agree with them, it may not even change your mind, but even if you don't agree with them, you can start to see why they think the way they do, why they vote the way they do, why they act the way they do. And that stuff starts to come around and you start to understand it more. Same kind of thing in conflict. I believe that it's important for you to start seeing and paying attention to that person and what they're saying so that you can see the path or where they're coming from, right? Because everybody's fighting for something for a reason
Oh,
that
so you
they
can
feel strongly
understand.
about, so they can understand. They want to fight to be understood, right? But everybody has their own side in a conflict. And if you can work to try to understand why they feel that way,
So
that's a good, healthy route,
yeah,
right?
so we said earlier, like self-awareness and introspection of yourself, but I would say with your spouse,
Yeah.
curiosity,
Staying curious.
yeah, staying curious, seeking to understand the other, because it's amazing psychologically or whatever it is, like how much we as humans just want to be understood. And I think understanding the person you're in conflict with can go a long way with resolving it. Because I mean, I've just noticed it's just disarming when you seek to understand, which I'm not always the best at that. When I'm in a counseling session or I'm coaching somebody, I'm good at it. But when it's like organic conflict, like let's say Sean, I'm not coaching Sean, I'm just in conflict with Sean. My curiosity goes out the window. So it's something I have to be intentional at, and that's something I have to work at, too, and just personal relationships
Yeah, I
and
think
my marriage.
that's one too, is just being curious. Why is that person picking this time or picking that topic? Then once you start being curious about that stuff, you start to understand a little bit more where they're coming from. You're like, oh, I know why you're feeling that
But
way.
that goes back to the whole safe space, though. That's why it's important, because if I'm going to be curious and seek to understand you, I've got to prepare myself. So I've got to give not only you that safe space, but I've got to prep myself to be curious to understand and don't be offended, because you need to let that person speak, because if you get offended and triggered, you're going to go right back up
Right.
to.
And what does everybody want to do in a conflict? Everybody wants to put on the armor, right?
Yeah.
Suddenly you're at war.
Yeah.
But it's really not. It doesn't have to be a war. It can be discussions to understand one another better and to see the other person's point of view. But again, I can understand why that doesn't happen in a lot of relationships, because you don't have that, either you don't have that mutual respect for each other, or you're not for each other,
Yeah.
too. And if you're competitive and it's like one-upping the other person, you're never going to have a healthy conflict, because it's always going to be from the aspect of winning, right? Is like, I'm the winner, you're the loser. You're the winner, I'm the loser. And then somewhere somebody's keeping some score for some stupid reason.
Well, the last thing I think that needs to be said that can be overlooked, and we happen to overlook it in this conversation, but it's probably the most vital thing is praying together,
Yeah.
praying for one another. But I also think praying together, and I think especially like in the church circles, people feel uncomfortable with prayer, and I think it's just like anything else, is because they don't feel comfortable, because it's if you've never prayed out loud in front of other people, it feels foreign. You don't know what to say. I know, like in church too, people are like thinking prayer is so formal. I think we can set a bad example. When I'm not saying to stop quoting scripture and all that kind of stuff, but when somebody prays something that seems eloquent, it can have the effect of discouraging others. And so if you just look at prayer as having a conversation, and you and your spouse, I mean, what a perfect place to start that is praying for one another. I know people in this church that, were uncomfortable with prayer, and I would see them, they would start praying out loud, in front of groups and stuff. And week by week, you could see they just got more comfortable. So it's just
Yeah.
getting comfortable with it. But I encourage you to, with your spouse, pray with one another. I think one of our biggest, I think one of our um, shortcomings sometimes is getting busy and we're headed out the door
Right.
and praying for one another. So sometimes making time elsewhere instead of just when we're heading out the door to pray.
And not getting
Pray with one another.
ritualistic in your prayer too.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
not like
Well,
trying
it's
to have
hard
a
when you're heading out the
checklist.
door. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah. But hey, some prayers better than no prayer. So yeah, pray for one another. That's very, very important. So.
I used to have this prayer for him when he left my house.
Mhm.
Do you remember it?
For who? Me?
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah, that was very ritualistic.
It was the same prayer.
Praise the Lord, don't click into anything stupid.
The same prayer, like
This is when we were dating.
every time he left my
Actually, even
house, and
before
I
we were
felt
dating.
like it was a checklist I had to finish and check off so that he would get home safe.
You know what time it is? I just
Time to
landed.
land the plane.
I just landed the plane.
Yeah, that's a good one.
All right.
Good night, everybody.
Fade to black.